I'm going to make this short. I'm not going to waste anybody's time. These are 30 habits that I wish that I had when I was however much younger we want to say. Most people don't remember or take action on anything that they learn online. People just get ideas, which I think honestly is a point of consuming content like this. It's just to get ideas of things that you can try, and then you try them, and then you see if they work for you or not, or you do a modification of them. If I give you 30 things, one of them might help you, and that is my entire goal. This isn't a video where I'm trying to sell you anything, to convince you to do anything that is against your own beliefs, your own desires, your own personal ambitions. I'm just sharing 30 things that help me change my life, that have made me feel better about myself, that have made me become more successful, and that have made me simply like existing more and make people like me more as well. So we're going to be going into those. First thing, learning about God. Whether you're an atheist, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, whatever, learning about different worldviews and different philosophies is only going to be beneficial towards you. It's never a bad idea to know more about specific religions, specific people groups, specific cultures. I have green on my hand because I was erasing my whiteboard. It's never a bad idea. Even if you're an atheist, I think you should still learn about God. I personally believe in Jesus. I'm a Christian, no specific denomination. I've gotten into a bit of apologetics in the past. I've gotten into a bit of other religions like Islam, Buddhism, stuff like that. Don't really know a ton of about Hinduism. That worldview, I believe, is true. That is the one that I try and conform myself to, not have conform to me. And that's something that if I was to list one thing, is I would have people go towards. Second thing, gratitude and expressing it. A lot of people online talk about gratitude as being something you just write in a notebook. Like you get your cute little binder and you sit by the campfire and you come here and you're like, okay, I'm grateful for my coffee. That's gay. I'm joking. I think that it is beneficial, but I think that people miss the point. So they'll look at gratitude as something that they do in a notebook that they don't say to anyone. The best forms of gratitude are the ones that you express outwardly and that are given to you. So, for example, it's a million times better to tell your lunch ladies at school, your coworkers, the people who make your sandwich at Subway, make your coffee at Starbucks, make your donut at Dunkin' Donuts, whatever. When you go to the mart saying you're grateful for the old lady bagging your groceries. That's infinitely more beneficial than writing down 100 things you're grateful for. When you write things that you are grateful for, you're simply teaching your brain to think of things. But in order to get the actual benefit of it, you need to put it into practice. It's like if you write notes in school and you write down all of the vocabulary for different math functions. So x is a variable, and then a decimal means it's like a separation between a whole number and a partial number, whatever the definition is. If you don't actually do the math, it's useless for you to know that information. It's not entirely useless because you can put it into practice later, but if you don't practice it, you're leaving tons of gains on the table. So gratitude is another super important thing. Third thing, when it comes to relationships, focusing on connection versus what I can gain has been huge for me. I am a piece of garbage. I'm a horrible human being. I have used girls. I have manipulated them in very negative ways. I have used them just for my own personal gain, for whether it's, to put it extremely bluntly, whether it's their body, their own personal pleasure, to make my ego bigger online and in person, because look at all these girls I have around me. Focusing on connection over the past couple years has been the thing that's really helped me. And there's no better feeling than being with your partner, lying down somewhere, being out in nature, having her under your arm, and just thinking like, how did this thing happen? There's no better feeling than when you have a partner who wants to do things for you, who wants to spoil you and give you presents and all of those things, who will spend hours and hours and hours making little handmade gifts and presents or whatever to give to you. And I'm not saying that's everybody. That's something that I like. Not everybody enjoys that, and not everybody needs that. There are some people who are listening to this who may be in a relationship and are like, oh, I really want that, and might be like second guessing their relationship. No. Because there's a bunch of other stuff that your partner probably gives you that you want. There's a bunch of other stuff that the type of girl who would do those things, who's a lot more sensitive and sentimental, would do that you don't like. Because girls who are like that typically are a lot more emotional, right? Not every guy wants a super emotional, super like wanting to be up against you girl. I do, but not everyone wants that. And that's completely fine. This, again, is just advice or things that I've learned, I guess. Focusing on the connection aspect, focusing on this is the only person that I'm with and this is the only person that I'm going to be with. Being completely singular when it comes to partners, not looking at any other potential options, not looking at any other potential people. And my mindset used to be, well, what if I get hurt? What if they leave me? Who am I going to go to? The point is no one. Because if that person hurts you in that way, intentionally even if it's not intentional, that person isn't for you. And if you're not able to forgive and move on and they don't want you to forgive them or move on, or you make a mistake and they won't forgive you and they won't move on, or they move on without you or you move on without them, then you two weren't meant to be. You made mistakes and you couldn't repair from them. And that's on you. That doesn't mean that having people in the back pocket is a positive thing. Next thing. Number 4, making the most out-of-pocket jokes possible. I'm sorry. I'm the most racist motherfucker when it comes to jokes. I'm the most homosexual motherfucker when it comes to jokes. I'm the most offensive, stupid, obnoxious human being when it comes to jokes. I find it funny, so I say it. And this is another like sub point on just being authentic, being who you are, being who it is that you want to be, being the person that is completely true to yourself will just make your life experience 10 times better. What's going to happen is people online talk about this. It's like the lonely chapter. Shut the fuck up. You will be more lonely during this period. And what typically happens is you start being authentic. You start going towards who you want to be, which is away from your friends because you conform to your friend group or the people that you hang out, which happens to everybody. Don't think of that as a negative thing. But you're too much like your friend group and you want to go in a completely different direction and you feel stuck. You start going into that direction and you're too close to your old friend group, but you're not close enough to your new friend group to have friends. So you change. And a lot of people look at this and think, yeah, just get through the lonely chapter. I honestly think that this is bullshit because I've never really went through a lonely chapter. All of my friends have been there and we all progress and continue on forever. This whole cutting people off thing and not speaking to them and not being around them just because they have different beliefs than you is completely bullshit. There are some things that shouldn't stand. If you have a friend who, let's say he doesn't bring you a lot of like value, and I'm going to define value very loosely. It's just things that are positive towards you. So they're a nice person, they make you laugh, whatever. If you have somebody who doesn't give you value in your life and they're very, very lustful and they kind of bring you into that and you want to be in the more committed, like loving relationship, don't hang out with that person. If there's a friend that you have that happens to be of the opposite gender, for example, and they wear very provocative clothing or they're very flirtatious with you or whatever, and you're in a relationship or they're in a relationship, don't hang out with that person because that's just going to lead you into a negative direction. So being authentic, making the jokes that you want, making the comments that you want, seeing where the line is. And if you're just simply the person who always says what it is you want to say, I promise you, after years of doing this, people get used to it and it really isn't that bad. Real life isn't like social media. You can say pretty much whatever you want. And as long as you're not directly insulting or hurting someone and you know what the limit is, then you're fine. And I can almost guarantee that for you. We're going to go a little rapid fire here. 5, saying people's names helps me a ton. 6, saying good morning to people all of the time. Always say good morning. Even when you walk into a shop, when you walk into a store, when you're walking around the street, just saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever. Genuinely, maybe 10% of people do it, and it just gives you an edge over so many other people. 7, giving random, genuine compliments, saying you like something on someone, saying that they speak in a certain way that you like, saying that they have a cool voice, whatever. I just got hired at an insurance company recently, and I implemented all of those strategies of saying the guy's name, saying good morning. I made the jokes that I wanted to make, and he found them funny because nobody ever speaks genuinely on a job interview. I was joking about Indian people. Like, like you can say what you want to say, and it'd be completely fine. Giving genuine compliments. I think I had said something along the lines of his voice was nice, or like I respect his hustle because he was up late, like past his bedtime or whatever. I had said something nice, but just stacking these things that gives a person a reason to want to like you will give you much more leverage in creating the type of relationship that you want. And when I say leverage, I mean the ability to do so. If there's someone at school or at work that you think you could be very good friends with, you just don't know how to get into the room and you just don't know how to kind of start the conversation, starting off with positive things about them usually just makes them like you more. In most cases, some people see through it and they think you're a suck up and they have like a negative connection to it. But if you're like a cool person overall, they'll completely look past that and go, oh, he gave me a compliment and he's cool. If you suck, then the compliment is going to look like sucking up versus just he gave me a compliment. At least in my experience. Number 8, running away from lust. I struggled with lust for 8 years, 9 years, something like that. Nearly 10, nearly a decade, and I'm young. I'm 17. What I've realized is I've always tried to fight it, and I've always tried to avoid it. But I've never like physically separated myself from it. It's only been when I've gotten into the relationship that I have gotten now, I've been able to really, really fight against it. And only when I'm in a relationship, or only when I've been in the relationship that I'm in, has it been almost easy. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still times where I feel lustful or I have that voice in the back of my head saying like, go watch porn, go do this. I have that feeling, or just without even thinking, like I'll look up and they'll just be like an ass in my face and I'm like, and I have to look away. And it kind of flusters me a little bit because I see it as a negative thing. I see it as a scary thing. What I've learned to do and what the Bible speaks about is to run from it, is to physically remove yourself from it, is to get as far away as possible. Next thing, number 9, doing silly shit that's for me versus trying to look cool. I'm a pretty silly guy. When I was younger, I liked making sketches online. I liked making Minecraft videos with funny edits, whatever. I went through a period for years where I thought all of that stuff was bad. And I lost that because that's not manly. That's not masculine to make jokes like that. You have to make fun of people and be loud and arrogant and all of these things. I've learned that I'm happier when I go back to how I was when I was a kid. So that's just something you can think about. I do silly shit that I like for me and only for me, and the people around me who genuinely love me and care about me, they like me for it. It makes them like me more. So if you have people around you who aren't willing to accept you for that, then that sucks. But you will like you more if you just do what you want because you like it. Number 10, only doing things that I like. I've decided discipline is bullshit and I don't want to do it anymore. I've been the most successful in my life, done the most things for the longest period of time. I was a national level volleyball player. I was a varsity wrestler. I went to a bunch of big tournaments for volleyball. That's another wrestling plaque. I've made the best progress in my life when I've strictly run just off passion and love and a want. And doing discipline or being disciplined is important. I kind of shit on it for a second, but if I can choose not to be disciplined, I would. And only doing things that you like, and I define like as things that simply you just want to do, is helpful. And the thing is, people look at that and think negatively about it, and they'll think, oh, well, you want to scroll all the time, or oh, you just said you like have urges to watch porn, you should just go do that, then you're using discipline, huh? But no. An urge and an addiction is different than a like and a desire and a want. You're addicted to scrolling. You're addicted to porn. At least I was in my case. You like arm wrestling. I'm in a huge arm wrestling kick right now. I love arm wrestling with all of my heart and strength, all of my heart and soul. I'm in a bit of a YouTube kick right now. I want to start posting again and a bit more consistent. I want to, and I'd like to, so I'm going to do it. And I know I'm going to make the best progress or better progress than if I was just disciplined. And this is coming from a guy who, again, was a national level athlete and ran his own business when he was 15, 16, and 17. I ended the business because I didn't want to wake up in the morning, but I was being disciplined. I was disciplined for months. didn't make any progress, and just hated my life. Now I'm realigning and figuring out what it is to do next. Number 10, or we just went over number 10. Number 11, staying away from girls. Anti-lust, I'm my partner. I stay near my partner. If you're single, I think it's best for you to be friends with girls, not to overly sexualize them at all. If there is a girl who wears tons of loose clothing, who is inappropriate, who flirts with a ton of guys, stay far away from her. She is a product of the devil. I firmly believe that, and I will sit by that. Can you help them? Yes. Can you help save them? Yes. Can you show them Jesus? Can you show them the love of God? Yes. But otherwise, stay away. Don't entertain it. Because what's going to happen is you're not going to find your future wife. If you do get in a relationship with them, you're only going to be hurt in the end because you're going to be constantly, and I'm speaking entirely to my younger self here. So when I say you or you will or any of those things, I don't mean you specifically. You're going to be anxious and stressed out about what are they doing with other guys or other guys looking at them, whatever. You're insecure. Shut the fuck up. If you have sex or you're close together, you're going to ruin the relationship you have with your future partner because you won't be able to love them the same for a decent period of time because you're going to be comparing and thinking about another person. You're going to be thinking about old relationships and how pretty that girl was, or how good that one looked, or how you got to see that girl's body all the time and this one you don't. Just stay away from them. Be friends with the appropriate ones. Be friends with the ones you want to be friends with. Understand a healthy balance and understand how to be in a healthy proximity of them. But don't subjugate yourself to lustful, demonic desires because that's all it's going to lead to. You're just higher up the pipeline versus deeper in. Said quite literally. Number 12, staying away from snake men. Some guys will throw you under the bus. Some guys will lie about you. Some guys will be extremely disrespectful to you, not towards your face, some to your face. Stay away from them. You don't need to do this whole thing where you beat the shit out of them and you leave and you get mad and whatever. Just stay away from them. Number 13, learning how sales works, learning how to do the basics of objection handling. You can even write these things down and look them up on your own time. Learning how to objection handle, learning pain points, learning desire points, and learning how to sell to someone. Not for the sake of making money with it, but for the sake of it's going to improve every relationship you can possibly have and get people to see your point of view even stronger. If you're in a relationship with a girl and, for example, she wants to go to Taco Bell and you want to go to McDonald's. You want to go McDonald's, she wants to go Burger King, just to make it even similar. Not all of these people are going to be American. You want to get Chinese food, she wants to get Italian food. You will ask, okay, why do you want to get Italian? Well, because it's good and I'm craving this thing and I want this. Okay, cool. You being able to think, okay, she wants this. How can I show her that my way has this thing and it has it better than what she's looking for, and there's a better option than what she's looking for, and the entire experience will be better from that piece of information that she gave me. So in other words, if, for example, I did personal training, if somebody says, I want to get in shape, they don't want to get in shape because they want big spherical arms and they want to be heavier on a weight scale because they have more muscle. They want some type of validation, or they want girls' attention, or they want to feel confident, or they want to be more disciplined and feel like the type of person who deserves to be in shape. They want to look into the mirror or be comfortable taking their shirt off and look and feel confident and take pictures and all of these things. There is something physical that they want. There's something tangible that they want. So understanding how to sell to someone by seeing what is tangible, understanding their pain points, their pleasures, their desires, and being able to manipulate that into gaining what it is that you want or pushing you in the correct direction. So there's two ways you can do this. There's in a sense of like convincing someone to do something, like you're talking to your girl, for example, and you really, really, really want pizza, but if she doesn't want pizza and you force her to get pizza, she's going to be upset, being like, hey, yo, like, like they also got breadsticks. And she's like, oh my God, I forgot they had breadsticks. I want breadsticks. Okay, let's go get pizza. You just sold her. Versus, instead of trying to convince her, you two have a problem within your relationship. And she's maybe not giving you enough, like, off the lead. Basically meaning that there's something that's bothering her, but she isn't really telling her. Or she isn't really telling you. Asking questions specific to her pain point and her pleasure points or whatever. Being like, hey, I know that you're bothered with me not doing this thing. Like I normally text you, good morning, I love you, whatever. I didn't do it the past few days. I know that upsets you, but with how you're acting, I can tell there's something more. Like what's past that? And she'll be like, oh, well, I don't really know how to tell you like this thing. And you're like, yeah, let's just pause real quick. You don't have to know how to tell me. You lower the barrier to entry. You make it as easy as possible for her to tell you. You don't have to know how to tell me. Just say some words. Just say like a couple things that come to mind. We'll put it all together later and we'll package it nice and pretty and I'll understand what you're talking about because I love you, you love me, we'll work well together. Everything will be okay. You make it as easy to digest as possible. Then she'll tell you and you're like, okay, these are the key points she told me. And the thing is, once you have done some type of selling, once you think more in this way, certain things will poke out to you that normal people wouldn't see. If, for example, she brings up once you didn't do the text in the morning and twice you didn't hug her in a certain way, she cares more about the hug. That's the thing that's bothering her more. And I'm saying this in a very like simplistic, like cute style, just because I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. But you're like, okay, she said me not texting her good morning. Also, when she started talking about me like hugging her or whatever, I paused her and I went back to me texting her and I asked more questions about that. She kind of stopped me from being able to ask questions. Like she interrupted me a little bit and was like, no, I want you to like hug me this way. So that's the thing that's clearly bothering her more. Okay, I understand that. Cool. How can I convince her? And obviously you're going to do the things, but how can I convince her and make it okay for her that, okay, I'm going to do the right thing and everything's going to be okay and everything's going to be better? Well, you can give an element of proof like, hey, we've had these conversations a few times. I appreciate you coming to me. Like every time you do, it instantly gets better. Keep doing that. Like I really appreciate it. I really love you. If you just tell me things, it'll be better. It'll get fixed. Like if all you're telling me right now is all that's bothering you, that's completely fine. I'll start doing these things. I just sometimes forget, and maybe every once in a while you'll have to remind me. I apologize. I love you. I'll start hugging you in the way or whatever. Whatever girls like. I don't know. Being able to format it in everything's been okay before. We communicate well. We work together well. We love each other. All these things give proof. And all of these things give, yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. You don't want to do it in a way to where she feels stupid for bringing up the problem. Sometimes she might like seem a little bit sad and you'll at the end be like, you all right now? And she'll be like, yeah, I just feel dumb for saying the thing. Be like, no, don't feel dumb because that's how you felt, right? You felt like that for a reason. Like I wasn't giving you something that you needed. Like that's completely fine. Just know that it's going to be okay. Simple. Super simple. Learning how sales works. More so for the sake of it'll benefit your relationships more than you can possibly imagine. At least for me. Number 14, creating daily content, putting something out there. Number 15, always trying to learn, always trying to improve, always trying to get better. I was in a job interview recently with an insurance company, and the guy literally just hired me because I kept asking questions. I kept trying to understand things, and he kept saying, like, damn, that's a good question. Damn, like, I already know you're going to be successful because I get on so many calls with so many people, and they just don't care. And I know I'm not going to see them a week from now after hiring them because it's all remote work, right? Like, just asking questions, always trying to learn for the sake of you getting better and for the sake of mentors wanting to teach you more so you can get better faster. Number 16, always make a negative experience have a positive spin. I tore my shoulder at some point, and that really bugged me because I was just come off of a big wrestling season. I'd went to Minnesota to go to their camps, and I live in Florida now. Just to give you an idea, like if America's this big, Florida's here, and then Minnesota's like here-ish, I think. Let me look up a map, actually, because Americans are kind of stupid when it comes to geography. Do I know where Minnesota is? That's not a map of the United States. Where the fuck is Minnesota? Is it more up? Mississippi, Missouri. Where the fuck is Minnesota? Oh, it's all Minnesota. Yeah, it's all the way at the top. I thought it was more in the middle. I thought it was like where Iowa is. My fault. Yeah, it's far, basically. So I had traveled. I had done all the stuffs. I was like dying, killing myself, 5-hour practices a day. And on the second to last day or last day, I torn my shoulder, which sucked. I was doing calisthenics at the time, heavy weighted dips. I was an online coach for that. Heavy weighted dips. I was doing handstand push-ups, handstand holds, cool shit like that. And I wasn't able to move my shoulder properly, and it sucked, basically. Thinking, okay, well, now I'm going to know how to heal a rotator cuff, and it's going to be stronger when I'm done. And these issues are going to bother me for the rest of my life, which they do, but it's going to make them stronger. And yeah, it's going to bug me every now and then, but I'm going to have a stronger shoulder than the average person would anyways. Doing that helped me a ton. Always thinking the positive. That doesn't make the experience suck less. That just makes you more okay with it. Next thing, playing sports. You see the trophies behind me. I'm able to be the person that I am today because I played sports. Praise be to God. 18, trying coaching, trying to coach people, get them to hit their goals. I'm very thankful that I did personal training because that's one of the hardest things to coach and get people good at. I've been told by other people, I'm proud of that I was able to do that and make pretty good progress with it. Being coached as well is super important. I think that's the most overpowered thing you can do in order to accelerate your progress. Number 19, staying away from social media. Some of my favorite periods are when I'm on social media the least and I'm scrolling and I'm watching long form videos or whatever. It just makes you like real life more. Number 20, this is a more recent one. Thinking this is what it's supposed to feel like. I'm not going to go too much in detail, but I looked up the 5 stages of grief because I've been going through something pretty bad emotionally that has been really affecting me. And I wanted to see when it would be over. And the 5 stages of grief are denial. So, what? No, that couldn't have happened. Anger, why the fuck did that happen? That's complete bullshit. Like, the fuck, rah, 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 rah. Depression, being sad about it. Bargaining, which is basically like making excuses for it. And then acceptance. I had reached the depression phase. What helped me understand that it was okay was the mindset, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Because it just cemented in my head that it was okay for me to be sad and depressed and low energy because that's just the stage that I'm in. I've heard that advice a ton and it's never clicked. So I'm not going to explain it too much into detail because it's new, but just keep that in your mind of rewording, this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is what hard feels like. This is what sadness feels like. This is what anxiety feels like. Whenever you go through something difficult and you feel down or you feel lost or whatever, just know that that's what that's supposed to feel like. And it's okay that it does. Next, 21, consulting someone. Basically just having conversations with people who maybe aren't super, what's the word I'm looking for, credible in a specific field, but who understand you very well. So like, I'll talk to my girlfriend about life decisions that I want to make or mindsets that I have or things that I've learned. And she doesn't understand half of the shit that I'm talking about when I'm talking about business or I'm talking about arm wrestling or whatever. And I'll just give her all the facts. I'll explain it to her very simple so she understands. And from like a little kid's perspective, she'll tell me what to do. Like she makes it that simple. And it's been super helpful for me because I think that with her help, I've made some of the best decisions I've made in my entire life. And I've done things that, while are difficult, I think needed to be done. And because of the character that I have built up, I have been able to do them. So, yeah. Number 22, blindly listening to people starting out, then creating what's my own. You hear this advice online a ton about people saying, don't trust your own brain, only listen to me. Those people are retards. Don't listen to them. But the people who just genuinely give awesome advice and awesome value and genuinely have amazing credentials, listen to them blindly. I'm not saying me at all. I'm a dumbass. Listen to them blindly. And once you start to realize the problems that you have with their system, then make the modifications you need. Like, for example, I'm training arm wrestling specific now. I'm doing like very Devin Lorette type training, which is basically just like an arm wrestling athlete. You don't even know what that is, but it's a ton of volume, ton of frequency, basically. So tons of sets, tons of reps, or lots of sets, lots of reps proportionate to what it is. So you're doing singles, which basically means like 1 rep for super heavy, but you're doing it a ton. I'm progressing great, but I've realized that I need more recovery time than he says. So he says he does the lifts every day. I can maybe do 2-3 days on, 1 day off-ish, and then I get like a huge boost in strength. So I listened to blindly what he said to do, and then I made what was my own. Then I modified the system to make it better for me. Number 23, reading more. Just a reminder, read more. It's never a bad idea. Number 24, being curious, asking questions, just saying things that you find interesting. Like, people aren't curious nowadays, so it's hard to start being curious, but when you have a question, just ask it. Even if it means interrupting something, just to practice it. Like, if somebody's talking and they're talking about they're talking about exercise, and they say like, yeah, I do barbell bench press in a Smith machine. And you think in your head, well, he does regular barbell bench first, and then he does incline in a Smith machine. So a different exercise. One of them's free weight, one of them's a machine, but they're like the same movement basically. Just one's like the bench is like this versus like this. That's interesting. And as he's explaining like his workout, or she or whatever, as he's explaining his workout to you, be like, yeah, 1 second, sorry. Why do you do like incline and Smith machine like that? Like, why don't you just do barbell? And he'll explain why he does it. In this specific gym, the racks are the wrong height for my arms. They are the wrong height for my arms. In this specific gym, the like benches that you sit on, the angle isn't right for me. I don't feel it when I do that angle, but when I bring it into a Smith machine, for whatever reason, I'm able to feel it. Cool. You just learned a small piece of information, a little nugget. And as you ask tens, hundreds, thousands of questions, over time, you will start getting lots of nuggets to the point to where you're kind of swimming in wealth. You're swimming in gold because you have all these nuggets. So yeah, be curious. Number 25, declutter things regularly, just cleaning up generally around your room, around your workplace, whatever. That's helpful. Mine's a little bit dirty right now. Oopsie poopsie, lemon snoopsie. 26, doing multiple typing tests a week. If you double the amount of words per minute you can type, you double the speed at which you do tasks that require you typing. It is that simple. I type between like 80 and 140 words per minute, depending on what I'm doing, depending on the complexity of what I'm writing. And I always finish my assignments, my work tasks, whatever, faster than all of my friends and all of the people that I work with, just because of the fact that I'm faster. Learning how to type. And the thing is, you don't have to learn how to type properly. I don't type properly. I don't do the whole thing with the pinkies and the home roll and all that gay stuff. I literally just type how I want to, and I've gotten fast at it over the course of 10 years. I've been typing since I was like 5, 6 years old. Maybe a little bit early or maybe a little later, but again, over time, you'll just get better. 27, only making major decisions when I've slept and I'm in a good headspace. I think it's Jeff Bezos, who he only is allowed to make decisions the first 4 hours of his days, and then afterwards he doesn't allow himself to make any decisions on anything. Everything is already pre-done. I've noticed that when I'm tired and I haven't slept and it's later in the day, I make shit decisions. So I don't allow myself to make decisions unless it's first thing in the morning. Typically after I've consulted someone, typically after I've written something about it, or typically after I've thought about it in depth for a long period of time. At least 24 hours as a quicker one, but I'm someone who is an action taker, so I have to stop myself on taking action on some things just because I get excited to do them when they aren't needed or they can hurt me. 28, talking about God more. Having conversations with people, spreading my faith, and being very respectful and very upfront about it, about what I do know and don't know. I've never gotten into an argument with someone that's bullshit TikTok debate stuff. If you just talk to people about God in real life and you're very respectful and you use your social skills and see how they don't want to talk about this and you stop talking about it, it's not that deep. You can literally just end the conversation like, hey, I see like you're not super into it. Like, that's completely fine. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Just if you do have any questions, let me know. If they decide to take it, they will take it. I've had people take it months later, years later, whatever. Maybe not years, but I've had people take it later. Number 29, I stop listening to people who say have to or you must unless they've given me a solid reason for it. I've learned that people who use absolutes typically aren't very smart and typically are people you don't want to mimic because these people can't adapt, and these people typically aren't as happy as people who do have more nuance. Too much nuance is a negative thing because then it's like, what are we even talking about? But giving a little bit of nuance typically is better than giving none. Number 30, always say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for giving me 36 minutes of your life, whether you skip through it or whatever. I hope that something in here helped you. If I had this video and I listened to these pieces of advice when I was younger, I think it would help me. But yeah, that's been everything. Subscribe if you want to. But otherwise, my name has been Brandon. Keep doing the best of doing your best. This is for cupping for arm wrestling. Look at that fucking vein. Ooh, wait, you can't see it now. Yeah. Trust God. Signing off.